Hi guys, one of the popular questions I get lately is how to help with the curling of a blanket or a scarf. There's probably like 3 different techniques you could use. One is to use the garter stitch at the beginning and end of your project, or you can use it throughout, which again, garter stitch is knitting a row, purling a row, knitting a row, purling a row. It's typically worked over 4 rows, but you can continue that through the whole project if you want. And that will usually give you a nice reversible fabric, and it won't really curl, or shouldn't curl that much on the ends. The other thing you do again is you can take that garter stitch idea and do it for so many rows at the top and so many rows at the bottom. Depending on the loom you're using, if it's a finer gauge, you might need to do a few more rows to have it actually help you, versus using a loom like the Nifty Knitters that you may not have to do that many. So again, whatever amount of rows you do at the beginning, say you do the garter stitch process 3 or 4 times, then make sure that you're counting that in, that you're going to need to end with it as well to kind of make it more uniform. The other stitch is a rib stitch that may help you too. It's got a little stretch in it as well, and I will make sure that in this video somewhere you'll see links that go to the garter stitch and go to the rib stitch, just so you're familiar with what those are. The third thing you can do is what's called blocking. What that means is you're going to wet your project down a little bit, and then you're going to stretch it out on a flat surface. Top of a washer, top of a dryer, a table. You know, you're going to put a towel or something underneath, obviously to help catch some of the water. It's not going to be sopping wet. It's just basically going to be damp enough that you can stretch it out, and then that'll kind of help it with the form. But I typically like using the garter stitch throughout the, not throughout, but using the garter stitch in the process more than I do the blocking right away. That way, if I see that it's already not curling, then there's less chance I really have to block it right then, or I can save the blocking part for the person that I'm giving the gift to, that way if they have anything they want to add to that process. So again, to help with your curling, whether it's a scarf or a blanket, a lot of times it's the stitch you use. Using the garter stitch at the beginning, using the garter stitch at the end, or trying out a rib stitch on the beginning and end may help you, or blocking it. Another thing you do is just play around with different stitches. If you want a border around it, say you want like a garter border almost, do the rows on the top and then keep in mind those side ones that you're going to want to alternate them if you want to kind of have that garter effect like on the edges or something. So a lot of it's just planning out your project a little more and allowing yourself a time for the stitch to be done at the beginning or the end. So I hope this helps with your questions about curling in projects. And again, I've done that with hats. If I want a hat to be a little better, I will maybe do a cast on and then do a garter a little bit, and that works for a hat, not rolling up as much. But again, I would stick with it more for using the garter stitch or the rib stitch for blankets, for scarves, things like that. Again, it depends on the stitch you use. If you do like a figure-8 blanket using it as a rake, it may not curl as much as a regular normal flat panel done. But those are probably the 3 basic things: is a rib stitch being incorporated, the garter stitch being incorporated, and possibly blocking. So I hope this helps, and again, if you have any other questions, comment below and I will get to them as soon as I can. Thank you.